Alright, hello class. This is our last lecture. This is our last lecture with me, unfortunately, sadly. So we will be moving on to Marie Henry. Math 8, last lecture. And what we're going to do today is we're going to have a review. So what did we do in this class? What did we do? We did types of numbers. We talked about types of numbers. Then we did some precision, okay, calculations, okay. So we did those types of works with every single type. You can do it with getting the correct number, and we have to put that number into scientific notation. After that, we started doing vectors and dimensions, and then we did some vector problems, right? We did the applied problems. And then after that, then we started doing solving for x. And we got all the way to, we started looking at our rules of bed mass. And this is for addition, subtraction, division and multiplication, and brackets and exponents. And we started off with the addition and subtraction, and from that we said we have to move terms around, right? We move the terms to isolate our x. And then when we added the division and multiplication, the coefficients essentially, we said we have to move the terms first, and then after that, then we isolate x after, right? We divide out after. And then at the end of all that, then we started doing some combinations of all those, and then plus we added the brackets in. And we just added the brackets, okay? So we did not do exponents, but we added all the brackets in, and that was just expansion of brackets. Okay? So that's what we've done. What kind of quizzes we had? We had one quiz on here, and I apologize, there was an error. Thank you very much for someone who bringing that to my attention. So I had to redo that one. So yes, I got some emails saying, hey, my quiz has been taken down. Yes, everyone has to redo the quiz. It's going to be due by next Monday. That's when it will be due. Okay, right now it says Friday, but I'll change that to next Monday. So there's one quiz there. There was another quiz here. Okay, and that was just given out, I think, on last Monday, and that's going to be due again next Monday. And the last quiz that I'm going to put it up today, my computer is just generating the last little bit of these problems. We'll be solving for x for all these. This will be another quiz here, okay? So we have one quiz, two quiz, and three quiz, and they're all due next Monday. This one might be due a little later. And we're going to have a test. And that test is going to happen, it's going to be, I'll give you like 36 hours to do the test. Once you start it though, I think you have to finish it. You have to finish it within 2 hours. But I'll give you a window of maybe 48 hours, 2 days of when you want to start it. Okay, and that test will cover all these things. Okay, and that test will be posted next Monday. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. And then I'm done with you guys, and you'll be starting a new lecture series with Marie Henry, and she should start off right from here, right, including starting with the exponents and then finishing off solving for x and then doing some other types of numbers. Okay, so what I wanted to do today is I just wanted to have a little bit of a review, just to make sure everyone's totally cool with what we've been doing. So we'll just kind of pick problems for every single one of these types of problems. So what we started off with, precision. Let's give me a problem here. Let's go 4.327 plus, let's go 0.0014 times I don't know, 2040. Okay, so let's do that one right there. That's a good problem. So what we're going to do first is we're going to do the math. We're not going to do anything other than the math first. We're going to do the math first. So let's do the math. 0.004 times 24 100 equals, so we got 4.327. I don't want to do the whole thing in one go, because you want to separate them out so you can keep track of all the precision after, because they are different. You know, the addition is on decimal places, where the multiplication is on significant digits. So you don't want to add them all together, right? 4.327, 3.27. So I get 7.687. Okay. Okay. So there's our number. So that doesn't change. That's the number, right? If I had to move on with calculations from here on, I would use that number. But now let's do what the precision is. So here we're going to do multiplication. So we're going to do significant digits. So there's 2 here and there's 2 here. Okay, remember that. These two zeros are non-significant. They're just placeholders. If I didn't put them there, the number would be 24. And I would rather have $2,400 than $24. Okay, so I need the zeros. Okay, they're needed. Okay, but they're not significant. If there was a decimal point here and then 0 here, then it would be. But that's a different story. We'll do another problem after that. So we have 2 sig figs, 2 sig figs. I'm going to keep 2 sig figs. So my last significant digit here is the number 3. Now I'm doing the addition step. The addition step requires decimal places. So this has 1, 2, 3. This has plus 3 decimal places. This one only has 1 decimal place to the last significant digit, which was the 3. We determined the last significant digit from the last calculation. Right? That's what I know. There's a 6 here, but it is not significant compared to these two numbers because they only had 2 sig figs. So this last 3 is the last significant digit, meaning that it is 1 decimal place behind. The minimum between 1 and 3 is going to be 1. So the answer that I would want to write down and answer my test with would be 7.7. Okay? Now, in Blackboard, you have to write this number in scientific notation, and so it'd be 7.7 e to the 0. Okay, or what I don't recommend doing, because I've had some issues. Some people were talking about putting a space in there, and unfortunately, my program is not suitable enough yet to find these spaces and stuff like that. Actually, it's Blackboard. You can't blame me. But don't put spaces in there. If you want to write it in this format, you can, but you can't put any spaces in there. Okay, it has to be exactly like this. Okay, there's no deviation from this, because you can see that the Blackboard, it says it has to be an exact match. Okay, so it doesn't find that. Okay, let's do another one. Let's do something a little harder here. Okay, let's do something a little harder here. Let's do, I don't know, let's go 1400.0 plus 0.01437 times 1000 all over 2.43. Okay? Okay, first things first, do the math. That's the first thing. So let's do the math. Now here, I did have 3 numbers here. 1.437 times 1000 divided by 2.43. And so I can do all the numbers together because it's all multiplication and division, which all requires sig figs. So I don't need to separate this out. Okay, I just need to separate the addition step. 35802.4. Yeah, I'll keep on going. Plus 1400. Well, that was easy. I don't have to write that. 14. So it's 5.91359. Okay. 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 So now we do our math here. So our precision. So how many? What do we got here? This guy has 4 sig figs. Okay, those ones did not count because they're not significant. I need to put them there. If I don't put them there, the number would be 1437. Okay, I would like to have it being 0.0. So I need to put all those zeros there. This one, again, only has 1 sig fig. This number is going to kill us right here. This only has 1 sig fig, and these are all not significant. And this guy has 3 sig figs. So we're going to keep 1 sig fig in this number. So the last significant digit is there. Now, when we add it here, we're going to we're going to add decimal places. This guy goes all the way to the +1 decimal place. Okay, all these zeros are significant because I didn't have to write that 0.0, but I did, meaning that that is significant. Here, I'm at the 0th decimal place, and if I was any further up, I would be at the negative decimal place. Okay, so that's how you count backwards, is negative decimal places. So anyways, the minimum between 1 and 0 is going to be 0, so we're going to keep it right there. So the number will be 1406. There we go. And in scientific notation, it'll be written as 1.406 e to the 3. Okay. Okay, so that was our precision section. Okay, so hopefully we're all good on that. After that, we did some vector problems. And vector problems is really just breaking down triangles and realizing that the x-coordinate has nothing to do with the y-coordinate. Okay, so a problem would, and his problem on all the Blackboard problems are always missing the third leg. So let's do something like that. So let's Okay, so let's walk 4.03 kilometers north, 7 kilometers, 45 degrees north of east, and an unknown distance. If I end at 3 kilometers, 30 degrees east of north, what is the third distance? Okay, what is that third distance? Okay, so first things first, draw a picture. So first things first, you always draw a picture. So 4.03 kilometers north, so there it is. That's vector 1. Vector 2 will be 7.3 kilometers, 45 degrees north of east. Which way is east? This way is east, and north of east is this way, so it's going to be like this. Okay, and that's going to be 45 degrees. And this is vector 2. Okay, and then something I don't know. And if I end at 3 kilometers, 30 degrees east of north, okay, from home, from the original, 30 kilometers, 30 degrees east of north. East of north. Which way is north? North is up. 30 degrees is east of north. So 3 kilometers only. This is like there. Okay, so there, and this is 30. This is 30 degrees right there. 30 degrees, and this one is vector final. That's our final vector. Okay. What is the third leg? So I had to walk back here. Okay, so that's the one we're looking for right here. So let's do the components. So the next thing you do is I always do my components. Okay, so after I have my little picture here, I kind of know what I'm looking for. I'm gonna do my components now. So I got this one. I got this vector here, v2. Here's my x part. Here's my y component. There's 45 degrees, and I'm going 7 kilometers here. So what is x and y? Well, I know I can use my trig here. So x is equal to That's going to be the sine, so 7 sine of 45, and y is equal to 7 oh no, that's wrong. Remember, x is on the x-axis. The x is on the adjacent here. So this is cosine of 45, and this one is the sine. Y is the sine. It's the opposite, 45 degrees. Okay, and the other one here. So here, there it is there, and this one was 3 kilometers. This is 30 degrees, and this is now x, and this is y. So x here is going to be, now this one's sine, so it's 3 sine of 30, and this one's y equals 3 cosine of 30. Okay, all right, okay, let's do it. So 7 cosine 45. Make sure I'm in degrees. Yes, I am. So it's going to be 4.9497. Okay, and this one will also be 4.9497. This one here is 3 sine of 30, 1.5, and then cosine of 30 is going to be 2.598107. Okay. Great. So now I have all my components. Now I can start playing with this thing. Okay. So we'll put this here. And now I have to put my equation. So I know that v1 vector plus v2 vector plus v3 vector is equal to v final vector. That's how this works, right? I walk 1, I walk 2, I walk 3, and I end. If I end, there's v final. Okay, it's like adding numbers together, but they're vectors. They're not numbers, right? They have different components. That's what this whole unit's about. Is talking about vectors. So now I'm solving for v3. So v3 is going to be equal to, it's like solving for x here, right? I'm just going to move the terms over. Minus v1 minus v2. Okay, so there's my new equation. So now I can solve for this. So v final vector is equal to, in the x direction, it was 1.5 x hat plus 2.59807 y hat. And now I'm going to minus v1 vector. Okay, and so v1 vector is just positive north. So it's 0 in the x hat, and then it's plus in the y, but I'm minusing it, so it's actually minus 4.03 y hat. Everything's reversed when you minus it. Okay, you just make a minus in front of it, or a plus. It's just the opposite. Okay, and then we have minus v2 vector, and v2 vector. So remember, I was going positive north here, so it's actually negative. So v2 vector is positive, right? I'm positive in the x direction, and I'm positive in the y direction. But so it's going to be negative on both of them. So in the x direction, I was positive 4.9497, but now I'm going to be negative. And in the y direction, I'm also going to be negative 4.9497 y hat. And there it is. Now I just have to add these numbers, and I'm all good to go. And I've made the equation of v final minus v1 minus v2. It's right there. So I'm just going to solve for it now. And that should equal my v3 vector. So let's do it. So here we go. So 1.5 minus 4.9497 is equal to negative 3.4497 x hat. And this one is going to be 2.59807 minus 4.03, and then minus 4.9497. That's going to be equal to negative 6.38163 y hat. This is nice to go back to your picture now and be like, yeah, that kind of makes sense, right? I'm going back to negative there, and I'm going back negative here. So that looks about right. And now what I want to have is the magnitude of this vector. So I'm just going to square it. It would be negative 3.4497 all squared plus the negative 6.38163 all squared. And that will give a final answer of 7.25 kilometers. Okay? Okay? So that's how you do these types of problems. Okay, and all on Blackboard there, they're always missing the third leg, so it'll always be this type of solution. Okay? All right. Okay, and lastly, what we did is we started solving for x. That was the real meat of the course. Okay, and hopefully I've kind of maybe helped. I don't know. This is the main thing that we always try to do. So we try to solve for x. Okay, solve for x. And when you have just terms, okay, so when you have like 4 minus x plus equals 3 plus x, if you just have terms here, you know, minus square, you know, whatever, the summation of a to the n, these are all just individual terms. Okay, they're all individual terms. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to add and subtract terms. So I'm going to minus x on this side, I'm going to minus x on this side, and actually I'm going to plus x on this side, I'm going to plus x on this side, just because I'm not dealing with a negative yet. I'm not dealing with multiplication. So we're going to add x on this side, we'll add x on this side, so I'm going to have all my x's over here, I'm going to have plus x's, and I'm going to minus 3 on this side, I'm going to minus 3 on this side, and I'm going to add this thing here, I don't even know what this is, and I'm going to add it over here. Summation of a to the n. Okay, so when you do all that, we're going to get 4 minus 3 is 1, plus this summation thing equals, this is going to be gone, negative x plus x is 0, this is going to be, well, I guess this is actually going to be 2x. So we actually have to deal with this coefficient. I'm sorry, I was just trying to do a level 1 problem here. So there we go. There is pretty much it, but now I have this coefficient here, and I have to get rid of that coefficient. So now we divide it by the 2, right? After you bring all the x's to one side. And then I'm also going to flip the equation. So x is equal to 1 plus summation of a to the n all over 2. Okay? Now, the problems on Blackboard are going to be always numerical, because that's the only way I can ask them. If you was to, there would be too many permutations if there was symbols in there. So I'm not ready for that yet. So they'll always be kind of numeric problems. Okay, so we 3x plus 7 all over 4 plus x equals 18. Okay, and I'll ask you solve for x. So what we're going to do here is we're going to, I'm going to multiply everything by 4 first. Okay, because I can get rid of that fraction. I'm going to multiply the whole equation by 4. Okay, so I'm going to get 3x plus 7 plus 4x. Okay, that 4 comes in 2 times, because inside this bracket there's 2 terms. This is one term right here, and here's the other term. And that 4 cancels with that 4. And then this is going to be equal to whatever that's going to be. Oof. 1632, what? No, really? Yeah, 1632. 72? Really? Is that the number? And then we're going to add this together. Then we're going to subtract the 7. So I'm going to get 7x equals minus the 7. So I'll have 65. And then x will equal to 65 divided by 7, which will be equal to 9.2857. You have to answer to 2 decimal places. Okay? So there'll be problems like that. And that's where we ended off. And there'll be some expansion. There'll be expansion problems with brackets as well. Okay? There'll be some more expansion problems with brackets. Let's do one problem like that. So it'll be like a 3 bracket open x plus 4 bracket closed all over, let's go x minus 1 plus 2 equals 4. Okay, so this is a nice problem. Okay, so we have to multiply. First thing, I want to get rid of that fraction. You always want to get rid of the fractions. So we're going to multiply everything by x minus 1, and then this guy comes in 2 times, and we're left with a 3x plus 4 plus the 2x minus 1 equals this. I'm going to expand this guy right now. 4x minus 1. Now I'm going to expand. Now I'm going to expand again, right? So this guy came into the 2 terms inside here. So this one canceled on the bottom, and then this guy here had multiplied by there, and then this one had been multiplied because I multiplied both sides of the equation. And now I'm going to expand again, so I'm going to get 3x plus 12 equals, plus 2x minus 2 equals 4x minus 1. Okay, now I'm going to bring all the x's to one side and bring everything else on the other side. So I'm going to get 3x plus 2x is 5x minus the 4x. So I'm going to get x. That's fantastic. And then we're going to have minus 12 plus 2. So minus 12 plus 12 minus 2 is 10. Minus the 10, I'm going to get minus 11. That's the equation, okay? And you can always check these problems, right? That's the nice thing about these problems, is that you can always check it by taking that number and putting it back into here and seeing if it works. It better work, right? So 3 bracket open, negative 11 plus 4 bracket closed divided by bracket open, negative 11 minus 1 bracket closed equals plus 2. And that is already worrisome right there. So did I do something wrong? Hold on, let me just see here real quick. 10 minus 10 is minus 11. I'm good with that. What is going on here? Hold on a second here. Oh, right there. There. Right there. There's the error. 4 coming in here. That should have been a 4. So, yeah. That means that will be negative 13. Nope, negative 14. Huh. See? Check that out. You gotta make sure you always check your answer. Plus 4. Simple mistakes like that. Divided by bracket open. What's it now? Negative 14. Minus 1. Bracket closed. Enter. Plus 2 is 4. Okay, might as well check the last one. Right? Might as well check the last one now. When you get a decimal place like this, you might just want to just try the number here. So, or you just have to round it. So 3 times 9.2857. Okay, or actually you can go, yeah, 9.2857 equals, okay, so 3 times answer plus 7, oh, I guess that one, divided by 4 plus 9.2857 equals 18. And 17.99999 is close enough. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for all your inputs on my teaching style here. I hope you learned something, and I hope it wasn't too... so I'll be on Friday's lecture. We'll have a nice chat there, and if there's any questions and stuff like that. I'm going to put everything I said in the email here about quiz 1, quiz 2, and this third quiz, which is going to come up right now. I'll put all that into an email, plus when our test is going to be due. And that's it for my portion of teaching. So too bad we couldn't do this in person, you know, and that's how these things go, eh? But I hope everything's well, and send me an email if you have any issues. Okay? Thanks again.